Okay, hello everybody. Anybody that pops over from our live earlier, please don't take away from Raw's side, because look at it this way: if you miss some of mine, it's okay. You can always watch it later, and then like post comments and stuff. But for some reason, usually when I go into my comments section, I can't see any comments from anybody. So definitely don't take away from Raw's side. Just go ahead and stay with him or her until the allotted amount of time. It's like 7:26 according to mine, and I didn't know how long it would let me sit at the position where you wait before you click on go live. So don't worry. This is just, I'll try to stay on as long as I can. Hopefully some of you will make it, but for now, this is just me hanging out, and you can hear Chris in the background. He's in there playing his game. And then my son Noah's in the front room doing something on his phone. And, it's a full household. And, it's nice to finally have this time with our son, because there's a long, sad backstory about Noah and why it took us so long to have him in our lives like he is now. Because it was the situation that brought him into our lives. It was not his. I can't totally say it was his fault. I can't totally say it was his adopted mom, but out of respect for her, I won't give her name. But because for some reason, I just have always felt like she sees me as a threat because I'm Wiccan, because I'm a witch, and she don't like that about me. And she never did. She raised my son Christian. But I'm open to all religions. I'm not going to talk down on your religion. Teach me, let's even exchange here. That's what we're here to do, learn, right? So what better way than to learn from people that, yeah, I'm Catholic. This is how Catholic stuff is. I eat it up. I love that because I have a Catholic friend that's in the building. She's downstairs. She's like a sister to me. We're like this. And her name's Normia. Chris don't like that name, but it's a name that was made up by my brother. I'll explain it later. I'll try to remember. Anyway, the story with Noah goes, I won't tell you the name that I gave him at birth because, one, he don't like it, and two, I don't want to upset him. But a couple weeks ago, around about the 27th of November, okay, day before Thanksgiving, our daughter, Zephyr, calls us and says, Mom, and I put it on speaker. I'm like, what's up, honey? What's going on? She said, Mom, just all I ask is just please, please, please keep an open mind or don't overreact. She's like, just let me say it through and then you can react or whatever. Okay, honey, I'll do my best. I said, what's going on? Are you okay? And she said, yeah, I'm fine. And she said, Noah's homeless. And I said, what? And I was like, she's like, Mom, this is what I'm saying. Don't overreact. Please don't overreact. Let me tell this. Okay, honey, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What happened was one of the next things I asked. And all she knew at the time, at least, was that Noah had gotten into a big fight with his foster mom, his adopted mom, over something, and she kicked him out. She kicked him out of the house. He put himself on a bus to Cleveland, Ohio, because it was the nearest bed he could find in a shelter. He's 19, guys. He was scared, okay? And I stayed on the phone with him the entire time. Every second that I could, I stayed on the phone with my son and got him through and got him here. I said, honey, let's just get you here first, and then we'll take it from there. Noah was taken literally out of my arms 2 days after he was born in the hospital because I have a really, really bad past history with children's services. And when I was a kid myself, they interfered in our lives and tried to take us away from our mom. I have a brother and a sister. And but the judge or whatever talked mom into keeping us 3 kids and raising us herself, because otherwise we would have all been split up into different foster homes and may have never even known each other existed, right? So anyway, 2 days after Noah was born, I had, because of the past history I had with children's services and my feelings about them and how much they had traumatized me as a child and had messed up my life. Now, I'm not against the children they save. Way to go. I'll be the first one to step up and go, way to go. Good job. Keep it up. But I found out some not so good stuff about that whole system and how things work. Like, they get a certain amount of money for every kid they have in foster care. Hello, dollar signs. The cost of living is through the roof. People get greedy, and well, you know the story. So a children's services social worker basically came into my room 2 days after Rupert was born. Well, Noah, he doesn't like that name, the other name. Hello, Carmela. My cats want me to pet her. But the social worker came into my room, and I think they had Noah in the nursery or something, and they was cleaning him up or whatever, and giving me a chance to get some rest because I had him in an hour and 9 minutes. Now, a lot of you women may say, whoa, how did you do that? Well, it wasn't exactly the ideal circumstances, okay? Because I'm not a medical doctor or anything, so I just have the fear and the worry that because of an action that I did that caused me to go into premature labor with my son, Noah, that it could have damaged him in ways that I did not anticipate, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He's autistic and he's also ADHD. Great kid, great young man. I love him dearly. So anyway, before I get too far off track, well, I'll finish this bit first. When the social worker came into the room, the first thing out of my mouth was, please don't take my baby. Please don't take my baby, because that was my first thought when they walked in the room, that they were there to take my baby. And none of the family had even seen him yet. Okay. So this was within a short time after he was even born. My daughter Zephyr was quite young then, and her biological dad, Adam, came up to the hospital and she got to hold him. And I have a picture of her holding Noah when he was a baby. And she was just as happy as could be. And she was just a toddler herself. She was little. She was nowhere near teens or even preteen, I don't think. I'm guessing maybe around 6 or 7 or something like that, because Noah was born in 2005 and Zephyr was born in 97. So you do the math, right? So anyway, I said, if you take my baby, I will kill myself and my baby. And that was the very wrongest thing to say, because it gave them exactly what they were looking for so that they could take him. And this is how bad it was, guys. I was so traumatized by this organization as a kid that the minute she walked in the door, the first thing out of my mouth is, don't take my baby. I have a reason why I feel that way. Okay. And a damn good one. But so 2 days after he was born, I was getting ready to take him home. My mom was on her way up in the elevator with the car seat. I was getting dressed out of my hospital gown into my, street clothes. And one of the nurses walked in the room, pulled out a folded up white piece of paper, and then shoved it back in her pocket and told me that the hospital had an emergency order from Children's Services to keep me from taking my son home. So literally 2 days after he was born, those jerks yanked him out of my arms. My mom got there. She saw me crying. She had the car seat right next to her on the floor, and she's like, what's going on? And now this is a Leo we're talking about here. Okay. You know what happens when you fire up a Leo. You better run. So same with Capricorns. Don't get us mad. If you do, you better run, because we can be wicked when pushed too far, kind of thing, where we would snap. Because a lot of times Capricorns tend to be calm, cool, collected, well demeanor and all that, and then you push them too hard and you let the bitch out of the box, you're in trouble. So I told her, I said, they're taking my son. He's not going home with us. And she's like, why? I mean, she was getting mad, guys. She was ready to take heads off, because the paper that the lady showed me, she did not do legal protocol and bring it to me so that I could unfold it myself and read what was on that paper. I think that it was a lie, because they were having trouble getting the emergency order that quickly or something. So they violated my rights right there, because last I checked, in a situation like that, that's that serious, okay, yeah, they're good. They're going to do something like that. So I was like, okay. I said, they won't let us take him. We had everything for him. We had a crib, we had diapers, we had formula, we had clothes, we had a baby tub. They gave us a list of things that we had to provide to show that we could provide for my son. We showed them. Mom took a picture. Didn't make a doggone bit of difference because they took him anyway. When she found out what they did, I don't even know how long it took me to stop crying from it, because it so devastated me, because that is literally the first time anything like that's ever happened to me. None of my other kids got taken away from me when they were born, and I have 3 others. Noah is just the youngest. My kids go in the order of Michael, 1990, okay, David, 1994, Alicia, 1997, or Zephyr, and Noah, 2005. That's the year, how they, they're spread out. Like right now, my daughter Zephyr is 27, about to be 28, January 11th. So, and I'm January 9th, as I've already said. But so anyway, so yeah, I didn't even get to take my son home that day, and Children's Services is why. Because if they would have never walked in my room, I would have been fine. Okay. But here's the thing. This is what scares me. I had bought a bottle of holy oil from a witch shop, from an occult shop, and it wasn't a dark one or anything like that, because I don't do the dark stuff. I will teach you about it as much as I can, if for no other reason than to warn you how it works, and so that you can protect yourself. But I won't actually do black spells or any of that thing. No, don't do it. It's not worth the price you pay. Trust me. I've met a lot of witches in my time, and they've done some pretty dire things themselves. And, it's just, it can blow up in your face like that quick. So I remember a friend of the family walking across the lawn when he found out what had happened. And I met him halfway across the lawn, and I was crying every step of the way. But because this oil was made at an occult shop, okay, that it said on the bottle, and I wish I would have read that before I took a freaking hot bath in it. Okay. So this was a freak accident, like major freak accident. I would never do this to one of my kids ever, not intentionally, but I carried Noah in my back the entire time, so much to the point that everybody was convinced I was having a girl, even me. And whenever I would say girl or give him a girl's name, he'd kick me. So that was his way of saying, Mom, I'm not a girl, but because I carried him in my spine, it looked like I was having a girl. So I literally dumped this whole bottle of oil in my tub and soaked in it. And within a handful of minutes after getting out of that bath, the bath felt good, man. I smelled wonderful. I remember all the nurses in the room when I was having Noah commenting me on, what are you wearing? Oh, I love it. I want some. And I'm like, hello, I'm in labor here. And I felt it all, guys. I felt every bit of the pain, and it was agony. I don't ever want to go through that again. Not that I would trade any of my kids in the world. I would not. And besides, I got myself, hysterectomy, so I can't have kids anymore anyway. And, 55, yeah, then you're starting to get up there in years. Now, some of us are lucky enough that we can do it past that age. Good for you, But so I can't help but wonder if, because of that one mistake that I made using that oil, and then afterwards reading, if you're pregnant, do not use this product. Okay. And that would have, because now I can't, I'm always going to wonder, is that my fault that he has these disabilities that he has because of what I did, or was it something genetic from his dad's side? Because his bio dad, he will not talk about him. He does not like, he won't even say, he's like, don't say his name around me. And I'm like, I won't, honey, because I know exactly what he's like. That's why I got away from him. That's why I didn't stay with him. What? What? Okay, hang on, guys. I gotta go see what he's needing me for. Everything okay? What happened? What's the matter? What now?
It's candy.
I am? Oh. Oh, yeah, not good.
I mean,
Oh, definitely not good. Oh, man.
like that.
Oh, man, I hope we're not losing him. Not on Christmas. Please don't do that to me. That would break our hearts, and I know it would. I don't know what to do then. I mean, yeah, this is definitely the most I've ever seen him throw up. Um, our one cat, Boo, he's American Curl. He's a rescue, and he's been throwing up like way too much today, and we're kind of scared that we might be losing him. So, and if he is, I don't know what we can do for him because it's Christmas, and it would break our hearts if we lost him now. But he is skin and bones. He's very frail. I even stopped trying to pick him up most of the time because it's like every time the poor little thing, tries to eat any kind of food, he just throws it right back up. I mean, it doesn't even get a chance to digest in his system. And we have no way of knowing how old he is or anything either because he was a rescue, just like Bella. He's our Maine Coon. He's laying over here on the bed. But yeah, for Boo to be throwing up this much, that's pretty scary. So prayers that we're not losing our baby, especially not today, because that would be heartbreaking. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I mean, there's most likely not anywhere that we could take him this time of night to, I don't know, get him euthanized, as much as I hate to say that. Because that's like, that's like taking one of your children to the slaughterhouse. Just because they're not human doesn't make them any less your child, So we may be losing him. I hope not, because forgive my repeats, because when I'm really stressed about something, then I'll like say something a million times. Don't mean to. But we have two girl cats too, Carmela and Kalika, that have always given Boo a problem. They're always bullying him. And the poor animal has been under so much stress. We think he may have eaten a poisoned roach because we have roaches and bed bugs like god awful. I have to spray my side of the bed, like all the time, all throughout the night. Anytime I get up to use the bathroom or get a drink of water, I have to spray my side of the bed before I lay back down. I have to lotion up my arms because it's the only way that I can keep them from biting on me long enough for me to sleep. Yeah, they're that bad because we are in a serious slumlord situation here, and the building manager, sadly, is living here for free, and he doesn't do his job, at least not in my opinion, and he tends to be a jerk towards people at the drop of a hat. He's an alcoholic, and he can get downright mean, and we don't need it. We don't need the added stress. And anytime that we go to him and ask for help or tell him that something's broken and needs fixed, he expects us to just pull the money out of our nose or out of our butts or something, to pay to repair the stuff. And it's not our job to do that. It's the building manager's job to make the phone calls to the landlord and say, hey, they need this replaced. What do you want to do? How do we handle this? Blah, blah, blah. You don't come in and tell the tenant, pay for it yourself, fix it yourself. It's like, excuse me, isn't that your job? Aren't you supposed to tell the landlord that a tenant is complaining because their, I don't know, apartment's falling down around their ears? Yeah, not a cool thing. And the landlord, he goes to Florida for the fall and winter months. So I hope you're doing good, Ross side buddy. I wish I could be there. I would be there right now, but I didn't pay attention to the name and how to even bring it up. So I could have been over there to support you there too. So, excuse me. That's why I'm hoping that a lot of you will, once he's done in about 15 minutes, you guys will come over and find your way to me. And if not, like I said, don't even worry about it. I'll stay on as long as I can, and anything that you miss, or if you don't get on before I decide to sign off for the night, because like when Chris wants to go to sleep for the night, then I'm going to have to stop whatever I'm doing, because I don't want to, deny him that sleep when he's already having a rough go of it as it is. And he's getting the cancer, therapy right now. So he's getting chemo and radiation, and yeah, it's just, there's a lot. There's a lot of stress here, like all the time. And it's not easy to get through. And now our son's here and we love having him here, but he's not working or anything yet. He's been trying, bless him. He really has been trying to get out there and hit the pavement, more or less, in the sense of job hunting. And nobody seems to want to call back. Nobody seems to want to give him a chance. So I don't even know what to do. What's a backup plan for that? Because I feel like if I could go to the library, maybe take him with me, or, do some of it by myself or something, so I can have some me time. But other times take him with me and say, this is my son, Noah. I'd really like to get him in touch with some resources. Can you help us out? Even if it's just start giving me the books on autism and ADHD so that I can better help my son, because at least I have a knowledge of how to deal with them on an emotional level, on a mental level, on a spiritual level. Because see, Noah is torn right now between being fully Wiccan and being fully Christian. As you are into the craft for longer and longer periods of time, I've been doing it, let's see, you might as well say 33 years, because once I turned 56 in January, I started when I was 13. So Halloween of my 13th year, around 82 or so, that's when I came into the craft. And I felt the pull, and I felt like this is right, And even before I dedicated myself to being a witch, I would bring home a stack of books, I kid you not, sometimes this big, of nothing but magic books, every magic book that I could get my hands on, to learn, to see what I'm getting into, and see, maybe try some things, see if it's something that feels right or does it not feel right. Because my belief has always been this, and I stand by it to this day. We're all on a religious path of some sort. The reason why I believe we have freedom of religion is so you have many options to explore, and many ways you can learn about what it truly means to be of your own religious faith and your beliefs and how it all kind of fits together. But the way I understand it, now I cannot verify this, so don't hate me, but I've heard through the grapevine here recently that Christianity is actually a unification of all religions, but some people don't view it that way. They view it as, if you're Wiccan, you're going to burn in hell. If you're practicing, you're going to burn in hell. That is simply not true. Now, if you do the bad stuff, then, well, you're being kind of obvious that you want to go to hell, or you wouldn't be doing the bad stuff, right? So, but I always do the good. I never do anything to harm another. I don't ask me for breakup spells. Don't ask me for, make someone have a bad day, because you got to remember, every time you cast a spell on something or someone, you can have backlash. So be very, very mindful and careful what you cast before you cast it, because you're going to pay a price too. And it's usually not a very good one. I used magic to bring Chris into my life. And I also used magic to bring one of my other kids' fathers into my life. And both times it worked. And so I will gladly tell you guys sometime. I'll kind of leave the queue up to you if you catch some of my lives from here on, because I don't even know how many I've got on here, guys, really. I know I've got a few, but just like anybody, any YouTubers, a lot of times we have, bad weather and our tower signal sucks for the day. So what would be the point of even trying to do a live, because you're not going to have a very good signal. I hope everything's going good for you, Raw Side. Wish I was there. Hopefully I'll find you later and, get a link to your channel or something and go by and see what I missed. But, so I will tell you my Halloween story of, what happened the actual night that I realized what I was. And I was like, I don't know, it was, how do you describe it? I've always said it this way. It's kind of like you know a thing, but you don't know why or how you know it. You just do. I'm a natural witch. So I could have like come into magic without even reading a single book, but I wanted to do things right from the get-go because a big misconception I believe a lot of people have, I'm not saying everybody, or pointing fingers or anything of that nature, um, they have like mixed feelings, I guess, or a mixed opinion about, okay, what is Wicca? Well, get the book that I learned from, the Wicca Solitary Practitioner Guide by Scott Cunningham. That's the one of the first ones I learned, and the Modern Witches Spellbook 1 and 2. That's some of the first magic, real magic that I cast. But anyway, so at 13, you're like, okay, this is Halloween. It's almost midnight. Why do I get a feeling? And the next thing I know, I'm dressing in black, conical hat included. I didn't go goth or anything, even though I am a rainbow romantic goth, I found out. And yes, I do have the goth Bible. And I have also a Wiccan version of the goth stuff, which I absolutely love, but it's buried down the basement. So it was Halloween night, probably would have been, let's say 1982, 1983. Okay. And I had a really nice sized bedroom and everything. And I loved it. I'll never forget that. It's a shame that house got tore down, but years later it did, once we got moved out of it, thank goddess. But, so I didn't have any candles that night, and my sister was out partying with some of her friends or something. So I didn't think she would care or even miss a candle if I took one. So I went down, I got this big orange taper candle. It was perfect Halloween orange. And I think it was only a single wick. Yeah, it was, but it was a good size. It was a pillar. Sorry, it was a pillar candle. Thought I said taper, but anyway, it was a pillar. So it's big, round, and tall. And, I dressed all in black. I had these 2 plastic tables, and you'll hear me talk about this on other lives before this, but this is so you don't, oh, what live was that? This is kind of a recap it's easier for you to hear it here. And then when you run across it there, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what she was talking about. Okay, I got you. So I turned out all the lights. My mom was off in a drunken stupor somewhere. And don't think I'm talking harshly about her, because it's not, I don't mean it to sound that way. It's just that turned out to be a bad experience for me as well. And I was like 14 at the time, and my mom almost lost her life because of alcoholism. So yeah, I'll try to get into that at some other time, because I want to try to keep things as positive as I can, because I don't want to upset anybody's Christmas, because that's the whole reason why we're doing this, is so nobody's alone at Christmas. You can jump from one live to another, and I'm happy to, be the caboose here at this point, that, if there's still some of you that are like, hey, I'm not quite ready to call it a night, I wonder if anybody else is on. You see that I'm on, come on over. It's why I'm here, guys. But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to take away from Raw's side, and it's 7:53. So you guys let me know how Raw's side did. I hope they did well and got lots of, good questions, and lots of people, not followers, but people that came in to check it out and everything. And thank you again for everybody tonight that subbed. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to our witchy talks. It's so exciting. So exciting. I can't wait. Sorry, I had to have my girly moment there. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I remember it was a little like typical matchbook size of matches. So I used one of those to light the candle. I had these 2 plastic tea tables, and they were designed in such a manner that they fit perfectly in the corner of each one. So you could literally make a tower out of them, because they fit perfectly in the corners. So you could turn it into a shelf or whatever. And I did the 2. I had the white plastic one was on the top, and then the yellow one was on the bottom. And that gave me an ideal height. And I don't know, I lit the candle, I started staring into the flame, and I kind of half remember this, half it's kind of, I was meant to remember it. It's all part of the whole thing, and how I got started in it. It was basically my initiation, my own self initiation. And I knew immediately after it was done and over with, I knew when to stop. I knew what to say. I knew what to do. Everything came to me just completely naturally. And I was like, whoa, okay, now what? So I'm sitting there and I started throwing the matches into the flame, and the flame was getting bigger and bigger. And I was like entranced, guys. I was somewhere else. Don't ask me where, probably off in a field somewhere with the goddess. And she's like, you finally ready? Okay, here we go. Come on. Let's see what you got, girlfriend. So if you would have seen me, and I would have loved to have filmed this. Oh, goddess, I would love to have had that filmed. That would be so precious to me. So I was just, and I mean, like, before I knew it, the matchbook was completely empty. And I was so deeply entranced, guys, that I'm telling you, the flame got like every bit of that high and higher out of this little pillar candle. But it's the reason why it did. And this is where it gets kind of spooky. But when you hear it all the way through, you're like, oh, wow. If that isn't the goddess hammering you over the head going, do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Are you coming home? Come on, we got shit to do. So I was so deeply entranced that I could literally like pass my hand, I'm not kidding, like this slow through the flame, and it did not burn me whatsoever, guys. Whatsoever. I was the flame. And I was like, what? But I'm an earth sign, so I'm totally confused. But hey, this is cool. Because here's the thing, is the whole time it was going on, there was a part of me that said, yes, finally. So I knew it was right. So I went with it, right? So I was like so deeply entranced, and all of a sudden I heard drip, 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 and it snapped me out of it. And I'm looking around like, what the heck is dripping? Is it raining outside or something? What's going on? No, something was dripping from the white plastic top table to the bottom yellow plastic table. And I'm like, what the? I picked up the white table and it was on fire. Okay. Like literally the candle was gone and there was this big hole melting in the middle of this thing. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna blow that out. Put it back down, ran to the other end of the hall, grabbed a glass of water, took it in and drenched just, the whole thing. Soaked my bed, soaked my floor. I didn't care. That was the only way I was getting that thing out. Not to mention, breathing in the fumes from the plastic as it was melting was probably not a good thing. Thank God I had space in there. It wasn't more confined because it could have killed me very easily. So once I snapped out of it, I was like, oh my goddess, what have I done? And I'm looking around to make sure nothing else was on fire. Am I okay? And I was totally fine. So I was like, holy shit on a shinola, or shit on a shingle or whatever. I say holy mother of wow, because, I am I cuss like a sailor, but, you guys will have to forgive me there. But this is why also, guys, I always do, when I do my lives, I always hit the not for children button. So just make sure, in case there's something I end up talking about, I don't want to give some kid nightmares or something, Raw side 758. But yeah, if you guys can, I don't know how, maybe we can collab or something sometime. And if we could get together face to face, even better, but let's not bum rush, because I bum rush things. Get to know each other this way. You guys can check out my lives, and that'll help you understand better who I am. And you'll get to see some of all the lovely stories that, yes, some of them are not so great. But it's just me being real. It's just me looking for my own niche in the world and being a YouTuber. And, it's like, so if you're wanting wild, crazy entertainment, you're probably not going to find it here. I mean, look, I'm in my bedroom. I don't even have any backdrops. I have one, but I don't have the frame to put it up yet. And you guys would love it because it's black. It's solid black. And there's this gigantic pair of green cat eyes on it. And that's all you see. And they're very well defined. And I love it. I've never even taken it out of the package because I have no way to put it up, or that would so be up behind me right now, because this little 1-bedroom place is small. It's like you want to talk about a mouse house. This is it. And there's also some back history of this building, that it was offices before it became residentials. So there's 2 doors in and out of each one of these apartments, and there's 8 in this building. We're like just a handful of minutes away from John Glenn Airport, guys. That's where we're at. We're in the hood, and sometime it ain't good. You know, I mean, we hear gunshots out our windows, and thank goddess we're on the top floor because that gives us a little bit of comfort there. But on the other hand, a neighbor that used to live across the hall from us on the same floor that we're on, somebody was shooting one night and actually hit the building, and it was like this far away from his living room window. And if it would have went through the window, it could have hit him and killed him. And he's like, that's it. I'm moving out. This is the final straw for me. I don't want to be here anymore. So he bailed, and I don't blame him. I really don't. But then the dumbass moves to Napoleon, which is worse. And I'm like, oh my goddess. But anyway, you know, not to diss on the guy, but he was definitely, if there was a Mr. Creepy in the building, he was one of them. He was very volatile in nature. He was what you would call an unstable personality. Yes, I do know something about. There's like, I think it's like 5 like dangerous personalities, and I believe the very first one is narcissistic or whatever. That is so my sister Naomi all over the place and back. You will see that in earlier videos because you'll hear me talk a lot about family and different experiences that I've had. And so this is kind of my own way of trying to edit things, kind of like give you bits and pieces. So when you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's what she was talking about. So I don't have to repeat like every single thing because, I mean, that's impossible. I am a stoner. I do smoke, but I smoke responsibly. I get stuff from Sunnyside. And one of my most prized possessions, I cannot show this thing off enough, is my cauldron bong, y'all. This is the bowl, the carbs over on this side. You inhale through there, and it looks just like a cauldron. My daughter Brooke got that for me from waterbeds and stuff. One of the only 2 times we've gotten her here to the States because she's in England. She's the one I was talking about earlier on our live earlier, that she was our UK. You know, she lived in the UK, and she was the one that had the TikTok shop. And she did so well, guys. I wish you could have been there. It was so, because I'm an empath too, so I can feel a lot of stuff, and people don't realize it. And sometimes I don't even realize if I'm feeling my feelings or someone else. So it gets a little confusing. But, you know, like sometimes I get overwhelmed, or I'll be like having a good day, and all of a sudden I'll just like suddenly be really, really sad. And I'm like, what is going on? And, you know, my other half, he will argue this, but I have been actually diagnosed with bipolar before, and a little bit of manicness about me, like a 5-day cycle I was able to figure out is about when, you know, like another part of my personality comes out, even though I'm not a Gemini, which I love you guys, but that's like the whole split personality thing. And I have one because she almost never comes out, but when like I'm really angry about something, she comes out. And that to me is just my reference to the dark side in me. You know, everybody has one. You know, we're not all perfect angels. I can also read auras. I can do tarot readings. I'm an astrologist, parapsychologist. And I actually got a diploma from that from Stratford, but you will never find that course there again because it's the only course, guys, literally that I have taken from Stratford that I like stuck it out and went the whole way through it and got my diploma. And it's literally the only one. And I have 3 others that I really did try, but because times changed and prices changed and I was having issues with one of my cards that wasn't working, I couldn't make the payments. And now I've got three really, really good skill things down that I only started and it never finished. So like one of them was sewing, dressmaking, and design. One of them was computers, and then the last one was cosmetology, because I always wanted to get into cosmetology. But in high school, I didn't have enough credits to go to a career center that had classes on cosmetology, hair, nails, makeup. You know, that's my thing. And I know absolutely nothing about it. Now, you see me like plain Jane today, but if I can ever get my Luminous item, it's the newest one. They call it Luminous Breeze or something. The container's about this tall. It's a lot bigger and bulkier. And then the makeup canister you got to put up inside of it, and you can basically just spray it on your face. But it's like the best stuff out there on the market, right up there with Natural Beauty or whatever that what's her name does, Cindy Crawford. I love Cindy Crawford stuff. I would love to get some of it, but I can't even afford that, guys. I've got some on my wish list here on Amazon, but I couldn't even tell you what page to look. But just to show you guys, yeah, she really is trying to get it. And I would love to have some of those products, but they're like really, really expensive, that I can't afford. That's why it's taken me so long to get my Luminous. Because when Luminous first came out, any of you women that know this, it was the little wand looking thing. It was like basically an airbrush kind of tool that they use like in the salons when they do your nails fancy and stuff. They use an airbrush thing. You know what I'm talking about? Something like that. So it looked like a little pen, and then it had the little chamber, and then you put the makeup in there, you shook it up real good, and then you would spray it on, and it had a lot of good stuff in it. Meaningful Beauty. Thank you. It just popped into my head. See, that's one of my spirits going. Meaningful Beauty. That is Cindy Crawford's line. I've always wanted it, but I just have given up hope that it's going to be anytime soon. Because I love Cindy. I love celebrities in general, but I always try to view it as get past the title, guys. Get past the fact that they're celebrities and see them as the people they are too. Not just a role they play. Like how many times has somebody come up and met Daniel, Harry Potter, and he's like, oh God, here we go again. That would drive anybody wonky. It certainly would make me wonky. I'd be like, can you shut the hell up about that now? You don't want to do that to your fans, and he's happy now. He's got himself a lady. He's got some kids, good for you. That was a tough situation that I went through because I crushed on that boy really bad. And I always knew the entire time that, I was old enough to be his mother and always would be, because he's like the same age roughly, probably. See, he was born in 89. So 99. I'm not going to do that. You guys do the math. But anyway, he's probably in his 30s by now, I'm sure, Daniel. But he was born in 89. So he's close to, that's right. He's close to my son's age. Like, I think he's 1 year older than my son, my oldest, Michael. So that would make him possibly like 30, 31. I'm just guessing. But how many times did that poor guy go through, oh my God, Harry Potter, and people go stupid. Try to, I actually did some research on this because I was so worried about embarrassing myself. That if I ever got to meet a celebrity, they're like, these are the do's and don'ts of when you meet a celebrity. I'm like, okay, I really need to read this so I don't go overboard. So I did. It came with some valid points, and they basically reaffirmed my attitude all along. Look past the fact that they were somebody in a series that you liked, or somebody in some movies that you liked, or, you got to be able to see past the title. You know what I'm saying? Of what made them celebrities to so-and-so, just a normal person right off the street, like anybody else, like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Love him a lot. Big fan. But some of the things you don't say, like when you walk up to them, how's your day going? Because they're like, they don't probably get that a whole lot. So they're going to look at you like, okay, I guess, how's your day going? Just strike up a regular conversation with them, and you will get so much further that way. Because how many times a day do you think you're so-and-so, and you played them so well, and you inspired me. Don't do that. Please just don't do that. I know it's hard. I've gone fangirl over many, but just don't do that to yourself. Because to me, that's like the ultimate embarrassment right there. They're still people, guys. See them as people. Talk to them like people, not Neanderwoo from Grimm. Oh my God. And yes, I would love to meet them. I'd love to meet the Grimm crew. I'd love to meet Supernatural crew. There's a lot of them. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. And I would probably fall out of my chair if I found out even one of them was a sub on here. And I'm like, you are, huh? What did I do right? That would be my reaction, straight up. What did I do right? I need to take notes. Where's my pen and paper, right? But talk to them as people. To give an example, any of you Fast and Furious fans out there, okay? Paul Walker, straight up, don't ask me to prove it, can't. but he's literally standing behind me right now. Okay. Um, these are the types of topics that, yes, Paul, I can feel you. Okay. It's okay. It's cool. Yes. Yes. Merry Christmas. You're right. Absolutely. Sit down, join the live, enjoy it. My other half, he thinks he's like, Paul Walker's not standing behind you. Okay, Chris, whatever, go back to your game, hon. Love you. I know what I know. I know what I feel, and my feelings never steer me wrong, because this is my gut saying, there's somebody in the room, and I'm like, yeah, it's Paul Walker. Boom. The horrible, tragic way that he died. Gosh, that's just awful, and I've been putting off watching Seven because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because I'm going to start bawling, because I'll know that it's for real. Whatever the scene is in the movie that he dies, I'll feel it. And it'll be like someone ripping my heart out and stomping it on the ground. I'll be like, oh, hell no. This is not good. This is not a good feeling. This is not a good feeling. And I feel bad for anybody that's ever happened to. Look at Robin Williams. Look how young he was. He was, what, a little over 50 or somewhere around there. And he killed himself. I just still to this day, I cannot bring myself to believe that they found him hanging by his doorknob. Do you realize how long he would have laid there in agony, suffering, if that would have been the actual way that he died? Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. Okay. Tell you a funny story. Again, sadly, I can't prove any of these, but who knows? Maybe they'll come to you sometime and show you. Yeah, she was telling the truth. It was really me. First, let's do a fun one. When I was 2 years old, I remember my mother having me in a stroller at the Ohio State Fair, and it was in the 70s, would have been 72, 71, something like that. There was like a little area. Any of you that have gone to the Ohio State Fair know the area I'm talking about. It was like close to the grandstand where all the celebrities would show up if they were going to show up on the docket for that year. That's where you would find them, okay? And over here was a landing site, because a lot of them would come in by helicopter. Makes sense, right? You're there, right? And then, of course, there's going to be a crap ton of like bodyguards and stuff getting off the thing first, so that when the celebrity comes off, they're surrounded immediately by their human shields, right? So Elvis Presley, true fact, true story, my absolute favorite, was wearing his signature black outfit, his red ascot, and I saw him get off of that helicopter and remember that as a 2-year-old in my stroller and see it so clearly. That has never left me. Never. And it never will, because he's a Capricorn too, because his birthday was January 8th. Mine's January 9th. Hi, So me and Elvis we're good in a sense. Don't ask me to channel him and sing to you, because that's not, that's not the way this works. Has he channeled through me and sung for me before? Yes. And I could always tell when it was him, because I would melt into the floor. But how do you prove something like that? People's first reaction would be like, you're Fruit Loops and the cornflakes, aren't you? Yeah, okay, whatever. I'd rather be Fruit Loops and the cornflakes than normal, because normal is seriously overrated. Yeah, but they might not think so, because I got that door closed. Our cats, they're so used to being able to come in and out of the bedroom, and now I'm sitting here with the door closed. As you can see, it's just a little tiny crack open. And since I wasn't able to touch on many of my stories earlier, because I was doing that of, being respectful and courteous, and, wanted all of us to be able to enjoy the experience that we had as a family. And I'm glad I did it, and I met some new friends, hopefully, and some new followers, and some people that I can kick it with and talk about magic and just eat it up all day, because I believe we're all here to learn. And because we're all on different spiritual paths, that's why we walk different faiths and religions and beliefs, because that is the particular religion and belief system that is going to teach you what you need to know right now. Get what I'm saying? So I know now when that information starts coming through, when it's right, you feel it, you learn to feel it. And I have, wow, guys. Okay. Try this one on for size. How do you wrap around your brain when you find out you're an ethereal celestial? And I'm like, say what? Excuse me, I'm a what? angels, doesn't that usually mean dead and spiritually evolved? Where's my wings? I'm not dead. But spiritually evolved, yes. I mean, I can't say I'm at the top right now, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting along. Capricorns, we don't need it bum rush overnight. We don't mind taking our time because that's why we're always the top of the mountain. Once we get to the top, we usually stay. And yes, I'm so sorry for those of you already that I talk a mile a minute, but a lot of it is excitement too from having some newcomers that hopefully will be able to pop on some lives here, and we'll kick it and enjoy it. Get to know each other, help each other out as much as we can, every way that we can, magically, even and non-magically. Like if you're having a bad day and you just want somebody to talk to and you need a friendly face, just, I will try to get on here more often. I'll try to either feel it or, if we can get to a point to where there's a decent amount of good feel and good vibes between us and we feel it's safe, because you do have to be careful, and we get to a comfort point, where, I could always text you my number or something, and you could text me and say, hey, this is so-and-so. Can you do a live? If not, can we just kind of chat this way? And I'll do the best I can. But I usually try to get in bed like about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's our time at night. So I'm sorry for those of you that may need that voice or that friendly person like hours later and that when I'm trying to sleep, but I will try to get on here more again. It'll give me the encouragement too. And I'm going to be probably doing a lot of my lives in the bedroom here anyway, because like I said, my son, he's pretty much living in the living room. So when he's out there doing stuff, I want him to enjoy himself too. And this is my way of trying to balance everything out and make it as balanced and even for everyone as I can, because he likes to play his guitar a lot of times when he's out there. And he likes to talk to his adopted brother on the phone, Ted, or he'll talk to his friends, or he'll do a live on TikTok or, something like that. I don't have my phone with me. I think I had to plug it in and charge it. I'm not for sure, but I will try to get you guys my TikTok info, because it's also Star Fairy, but I don't remember the stuff that comes after that. I tried to get it on my 2-in-1 here, but it was just too complicated. It's much easier doing it on my phone, and that's how I'm used to doing it. So yeah, I just, let's respect each other's spiritual path and belief. And for those of us that have the same path and beliefs, kudos, yay, let's do this, be there for each other. I do daily goddess. I do daily spells. I do daily cards. I try to keep it as positive as I can, but right now it's just so random because of the chaos in my life, and being a Blue Phoenix doesn't make it any easier. Good question. You're probably thinking, Blue Phoenix, what's that? Well, I have surmised that it is a very spiritual person, which I am, very decently highly evolved on the magical ladder, which I am. And I'm also very deeply emotional and deeply sensitive. So I feel on a deep level. And it just came to me one day, you're a Blue Phoenix. And I was like, excuse me, wait a minute. I'm an earth sign. Once again, you guys are throwing this fire at me now. What's up? I'm an earth sign. Why all this fire? What's going on? Do I need a hose? Do I need to put it out? What? I mean, I can be a barrel of laughs, on my good days, but yeah, family is everything to me, and especially people out there that don't have anyone else, to spend Christmas with. Here I am, just come and hang out with me. I'm glad to be able to do something like this for some people, because I know what that feels like. I've been through it, guys. When I was living in Marysville, there was a long span of time when Children's Services stepped in and took all my kids at the time, which was only David and Michael. David, sadly, and I still haven't been able to verify this, and this is like, you never want this to be true about one of your kids, especially just one more that was yanked away, when he was young. Like, they took David away from me when he was 4. And the last time I saw him was a picture that the bitch gave me of him, the caseworker that had him, Myra Yonkin. I remember her name clearly. It was almost like she actually tormented me. Like, she enjoyed hurting me by showing me a picture of my son that was now 6 years old and I was never going to see again. And then the family that ended up adopting him changed his name to Adam J. Green. But I was never able to verify this. I was never able to contact the family. And usually in a situation like that, sometimes when they get adopted out, they want it to be a closed adoption so that Mama Jan here can't go and see her kid while they're raising them. Yeah. Somebody knocking. I thought somebody was knocking. But anyway, I have no problem that Corey. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say her name. Well, as long as they don't say the last name. But his adopted mom, she raised him Christian. Okay. And I was not against that. I mean, my mom considered us Protestant for the longest time, like when I was a kid, before I found out I was a witch. But the best way I can describe it is it's just that inner knowing. You don't know how or why you just do. And it's there for a reason. So listen to it. And that's all I've tried to do. I try to reach out to those because when I was in Marysville and they had taken all my kids away, sometimes the only thing that would get me through the day was watching all my Harry Potter films, at least the ones that I had at the time, because the others hadn't even been made yet. So they got me through some rough times when I literally had nobody. And that includes holidays too. I think usually though with a holiday situation, I would go down on my mom's, even if nobody had any gifts, people still showed up, and sometimes the best gift you can give is yourself, your presence. And so thank you, Beardo. Love you guys for creating this lovely little, let's get together, so you don't have to feel alone anymore, because there's a lot of others out here that feel alone too. And it's nice to have somebody to talk to about stuff that you can't talk with certain people. So Noah, I've tried to explain it like this to him. I was absolutely thrilled a couple of days after we had gotten him Thanksgiving Day that he said he wanted to be Wiccan. And he's like, I've given this a lot of thought and I want to try it. I'm like, okay, son. I said, that's great. That's wonderful. I will do my best to teach you. And I also had to have my mom moment and said, I need to sit down when he told me he wanted to be Wiccan, because it shocked me right out of my britches. But I was very happy. So we did a small bit, I would read to him from, first it was the Solitary Practitioner Guide by Scott Cunningham that I mentioned. It was that book that I started reading out of. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I have a Teen Witch copy. So I went down to the basement. Noah went with me. We found it. And I read a little bit of that for him too. But he's in a conflict. He wants to do both. And he doesn't think that he can do both. And you can, because I've seen Psalms in candle burning ritual books, guys. Candle burning rituals 1 and 2 is like the second one is advanced candle burning rituals. You get either one of those books. I don't remember the author, but you get either one of those books, especially the first one, and it will tell you, it'll show you right. And you can even have a Bible right there next to you if you want to verify. The Psalms from the Bible are in Wicca and witchcraft. They're there for candle burning rituals. It's nothing blasphemous against God or Jesus or Mary or any of the archangels or the good guys. It's nothing like that. It just shows people that, okay, if the Psalms are in here and they're straight from the Bible, which you can verify, how does that make it evil again? Because I don't get that. I'm a little confused. You tell me, but here recently, I tried explaining to him. I said, son, there's another way I can teach it to you. You will still have a knowledge of it, but maybe not practice any of it, at least not right now, because you have a lot that you're still going through, a lot that we're trying to help you stabilize within yourself, because you have to be of perfect love, perfect trust, perfect mind, body, and spirit to do this right. Because it's so easy for a spell to backfire. And I don't want to teach my son magic if he's going to, do a spell and it backfires, and then I'm going to feel guilty because I taught him. So it's like, let me read it to you. Absorb what you can of it. Don't even worry about if you don't absorb any of it. You are subconsciously, and it will come back to you at some future point when you're ready. And if that time comes, if of your own free will and choice, you still want to pursue Wicca and you want to actively practice it, and we can get you that stabilized, then absolutely. I'll be like, okay, what do you want to learn first? And this way, by allowing me to teach it to him, I guess in an academic way, where instead of like hands-on, it's I can still teach you, but I don't think you should practice right now because you're going through a lot. And even though you may have every good intention, a spell could backfire. And then that responsibility would be on my head because I'm teaching you magic and you're not ready. You know what I mean? So he said, can I do both? I said, yes, honey, you absolutely can. But I would recommend that you don't talk about it around Grandpa because he's against it. Grandpa is not Noah's biological grandfather. He's passed away, so he's been gone a while. But he's been with us since I was 17. So he's like a dad to me. And he even calls my mom, Ma. So it's a little confusing, but once you get to know me and the situation, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So him and my mom are not romantically involved. They're not a couple. Mom has always wanted to be a couple with him, but he's never felt that way about her. And, but they still live together. So he is grandpa to my kids right now. And he does okay, but I mean, hey, none of us are perfect either. But he told Noah one time, quite recent, and this really hurt me, is he told Noah that if he continues to let me teach him Wicca, he's going to burn in hell. Now, I'm sorry, but how dare you, Jim, you have no place and you have no right to say that to my son about my religion because you don't like it, because you're violating my freedom and right to choose what feels right to me. Do you hear me cutting down your Christianity? No, I do not, because that's not how I roll, And when my son told me that, he said, I don't know, Mom, if I want to do it now because he's worried about disappointing Grandpa. And we've been trying to get him to understand, honey, stop it. Okay, just stop it. Stop worrying about what he's going to think. Just don't tell him about it because he's against it. He always has been. But he had no right and he had no place because he is not bio blood. He is not, he's not married into anybody in the family. It's like I was so angry and so hurt by that he would stoop that low. But in all these years of knowing him, it did not surprise me that he did, because he believes that his version of Christianity is the only true right version of Christianity. No, it's not. Are you God? Because last I checked, Jim, you're not. Quit acting like it. He thinks he's a badass because he's a deacon of his church. Well, if Pastor Toby knew the little skeletons that he's got in his closet, Jim, that I know, and I could just walk over to Toby's place and tell him, I wonder how long he would want him to be a deacon then. But see, I'm not going to go there. But he had me that angry, because he said that to my son, and he had no right and he had no place to. But so I was like, okay, when somebody does me a wrong like that, don't be surprised if you're going to see me in a bitchy mood for a whole fucking week, because that's how long it takes me to come back to my most positive, outgoing, cheerful side. This is not water. It's pineapple coconut. I call them bottled Kool-Aid. They're the little tiny bottles, and you got different flavors, and you take some water and you squirt some in. So it's like instant liquid Kool-Aid, and you don't have all the bit, you don't have to open the Kool-Aid, dump it in the pitcher, dump some sugar in there, make sure you use hot water so it all dissolves right. It's all ready to go. You just put it in water and you got instant Kool-Aid. That's what this is. And something sure is cracking up my son out there. I can hear him in the living room. He's a walloping like I don't know what. Something's got him laughing. Now this little puppy, think about how big this chamber is, guys. So when you hit it right, you're going to be able to, especially if you trap the smoke and everything properly. I'll show you how I do that. You're going to be able to get at least 3 good solid hits out of it, because the more you fill this chamber, the more you're taking into your lungs. I don't want to cough one up because that would kind of ruin my day. I don't want to cough up a lung. And no, that's not a bad joke towards Chris's situation at all. It's part of my weird sense of humor, and I totally blame him because he made me this way. Because he is so damn cynical about shit and and I will never date another Virgo. I'm sorry, man or woman, I will never date another Virgo. I cannot take it. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that a lot of you said that we make a cute couple. Thank you. That means a lot. But I have to be honest. I don't feel that way. I said I don't see it. You guys need to help me see it because I don't see it. And I can't explain that any further than that without possibly causing us another argument or something. I don't want to do that. Especially on Christmas, you know. I don't want to ruin our Christmas. We're having such a good one, you know. I'm not hitting this thing right or something because it should be doing better than that. Oh, excuse me. Well, I'm hoping that my son will kind of forget about it, but he wanted me to give him a shot of my alien vodka here. Now, don't ask me. I mean, either the bottle's green or the vodka is, but most likely the bottle's green. This is I call it my alien vodka. Now you see why. This is an alien head. My friend Normia got this for me. She's got a crap ton of them down at her place. And that I give him this is the shot glass. Says poison, which I thought was fun and fitting. You know, some of my witchy humor. Now I gotta get my lighter because it fell down. So anyway, but yeah, if you guys hit the bell icon and everything, it'll tell you when I'm doing a live. So you can pop on if you can. And you know, my friend Vicky, she Spider Vixen. If you ever see her on here when I'm on here, she's a childhood friend. We go way back, and she's another Capricorn. Yay! But I guess just for fun, so I'm not like endlessly sitting here blabbing about whatever. I'm going to go ahead and do my dailies. You know, keep the content interesting. This is my affirmations book. It's an affirmations journal. I got it from the Green Witch, Magical Crafting. Highly recommend it. It's got these affirmations in here, and it's got over 200 of them. And you can barely see it, I know, but you get 3 pages for each affirmation. I'll name off a handful to you. The very first one in the book is, I let go of expectations. So you affirm, I let go of expectations, and you can do something like, when I judge somebody where I shouldn't, you fill in the blanks kind of thing. You add your own. Second one, I keep promises to myself. Third, I choose happiness. Fourth, I am organized. Fifth, I make wise decisions. Sixth, I am content. 7, I manage my energy. 8, I am present in every moment. 9, I do not worry about things that are out of my control. 10, I choose my attitude each day. And that's just the first 10 of, you might as well say, 208 in this book. So I highly recommend it. Just look it up on Amazon, Green Witch Affirmation Journal, and it should bring it up. It's real pretty blue, and it's got a blue J on it. And this lovely little thing, this is old school. I just crocheted basically a chain. Yes, I crochet. I crocheted a chain and you turned it into a bookmarker. So whatever page I'm on that I want to be marked for a special reason, then I'll slide this off and I'll put it in that page so I can just go right to it. And as long as I don't have other stuff in here, that kind of gives you a way to carry it too. But you can't have, like, sometimes I'll put stuff in the back of the book and it won't be fastened, or I'll lose, the little marker thing that I'm using as a bookmark. Okay, and here's another one I got of hers. I've got 3. Weekly planner. Okay. And just look up magical crafting on YouTube and you'll find the witch that I speak of. What the? Oh my gosh, I just made a discovery, guys. Holy cow. Oh, that is awesome. Now, this is how it looks this is literally how, I can't show it to you really good. I thought whoops, lost my marker. And guess what my marker is? Mother Mary. And that's a little medallion. I've never opened this, nor Mia gave this to me. And there's this beautiful saying on the back to the Virgin Mother. Okay, this side they have, when you see the book, it's like these little sections and you see all these little dots. You can put small pictures in there. You can put your own labels up here. I love the way the magical crafting, I call her, what is her name? Amy is her first name. And she's always the one that says, hello, my darlings. It's time for some magical crafting. Or she'll say some little spiel and say, it's time for some magical crafting. Okay. And then, so like you can make your own labels. And if I had the computer to do it and everything in the software and I knew how to do it, I would have already done this. And that was the whole reason I wanted this book, not only to help her by purchasing it, but also showing my support by purchasing it. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get me some stickers and stuff because I actually found, oh no, that is so unfair. There's only one that's like that. Oh man, because see, the whole book was supposed to be this way. But anyway, it's just like sections. It's small sections. See, each one's not very big. I know I'm having a hard time showing it well, but dang it. I was hoping that there was more. Maybe there is. It's just like several pages in between. Yep, that's what it is. Okay. That feels better. Anyway, but it has all these little areas that you can literally, if you have the right software or you have a software program, you can make your own labels and borders and pictures, witchy pictures and stuff, and put them in there. And it looks really cool. And I'll show you the third book here in a minute, but right now I'm trying to get and you guys want to see something beautiful. This is a Ouija board. Okay. I've only used it once. It has Celtic knotwork on it. It has a black cat with green eyes and a pentacle on its chest. And it's in a pentacle and a crescent moon. And there's ivy. And I think this thing is beautiful. But as you see, there's 4 pegs on it. That's because it has a glass top and the planchette. I literally have all 3 pieces separated purposely. So this right now for me is and it does have a place back here that you can do it, but it would probably be smarter to like put some hanging wire or something. And this puppy was $80. So I've only used it once, and the spirit that came through spelled out some letters, and I never took it any further than that. I never asked what was the first word that started with that letter, because sometimes that's easier for them as far as how they're trying to explain who they are. And okay, here's this one. And this is the third one I have of hers, My Book of Shadows. And it's pretty, it's green, it's got a bat hanging from a tree, and as you can see, I've been working on it. That's one of my diamond paintings. It's a little unicorn. So it's a work in progress, and sometimes I just treat it like a daily journal. Other times I put stuff magically related. Okay, let me make sure I get to the right spot where I had this marked. I've got like ticket stubs in here. I've got pictures that I've had for a long time that somebody got off of the internet for me. And I had it in my living room window for a long time. And oh, that's right. I had to glue that one. Okay, so this is, there's this one. See, this is another one I did. It's a real pretty, like very witchy. It's got some nice colors in it, but it's a small one. It's real super small. These are some of the diamond paintings I do. But yeah, I literally taped them in here because I wanted them to be a part of the book because they were so small. It's not easy to find a frame to fit them because of their size and shape and everything. So yeah, this Ouija board I will not use because I know the very real dangers that come with such actions that I just really don't want to do, like ever. I don't want to bring bad spirits in here because it's enough of a fight keeping them out. These are the 2 decks of cards I usually start out with. And this is what I mean by these are my dailies. These are what you're going to see a lot of my YouTube videos is me doing these very things. We have Green Oracle. It's by Riccardo Minetti and Franco Rivoli. These are both positive decks. They don't have a negative side. And this is the affirmation deck, which is by, you might have seen these, 50 affirmation cards to help you help yourself without the self-helpiness. Who's the author? Trying to find the author for you. But anyway, just, they have different coverings and stuff too. So if you find this one, you'll know it's right. But they have a couple of others and it slides off. And then there's the cards. So what I do is I usually do one for myself first, and then I'll do a general one just for fun to see who the next person is that watches this live all the way through, if this card relates to them when I do the general. First, I do one for me, though, because I've always had, self-esteem issues, believe it or not. And so that's why, a lot of you almost made me cry today, but it was for a good reason. So I don't want you guys to think otherwise. Okay. It meant a lot to me that, I would see and feel and, hear such kindness out of strangers. But I also know that the world is in much need of us very kind of people. You help me, I help you. Let's just get each other through the day. I always tap my deck 3 times before I do anything. Sometimes I'll take a minute to get myself in the zone. Other times it's like, well, I don't want to sit here for 5 minutes just getting the golden ball of light activated. But you got to kind of clear your mind. And what affirmation do you have for me today? Manifestation. Okay, now they say the best way to retain what these cards do is to say it out loud. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific and get greedy. You are holding a magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declare your wishes out loud, you're actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Yes. Or is it just that, in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen? Valid point. Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting, but don't use that word if you don't want to. And this is one of the bonus cards. It says bonus down here on the bottom, but you can't read it because it's too small. Now I just put that card on the bottom of the deck. What is a general affirmation for as many people as possible that will relate to this, starting with the first person to watch this live after it's done? Clarity. Right there. See it, guys. Clarity. Okay. I read this out for you guys on behalf of whoever this is meant to be for. Stopping to listen to my inner self. I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar. And the mental chatter is a confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage or compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. So there you go. Let me know how many of you relate to that and go, oh my God, how does she do that? Bingo. You just witnessed my gift right there. How did she know? You saw me, guys. I randomly picked it. I am that close with my cards. And that's a good thing, because that means that that your cards share your energy and that they're just another tool to help us. And let's face it, if we could get into the habit of being more positive, affirming of each other, ourselves each day, how much better would your day go? You know? And then the Green Oracle here. And another thing that comes natural to me, most of the time, you'll see me shuffle 3 times and then I'm ready to do the cards. Other times, I just intuitively feel, do it a couple more times. So is 3 good or should we do more? Okay. They're saying 5. Do 5. So the number 5 has special meaning to somebody watching right now. Here's your sign or clue or whatever you want to call it. Okay. What message does the Green Oracle have for me today? Environment. See how pretty? Isn't that beautiful? You could use that as a meditation thing very easily. But I don't have such luxuries because doing a live stream back here in the bedroom is the closest I have to any me time. Let's see, environment. That's the second card in the deck, literally number 2. Okay. So I got to go all the way back to number 2. For getting there. 2, environment. Concept, nature in her widest sense. Image, a flowering glade with a river, birds, butterflies, rocks, and animals. This card is not about ourselves. It is meant to remind us that we live in the world and that the world does not revolve around ourselves or around mankind. The environment is something big and not easily understood. It's not the river, nor it's the grass or the flowers, nor the animals and the birds. It is not even just the sum or collection of all of these elements. The environment is a living thing, something not to be conquered, but not even preserved like a jewel in a cage either. Divinational meaning. Don't focus on yourself, but look outward. Understand the place you live in. Adapt rather than force your opinion. Take into account the needs of everyone. Do not needlessly oversimplify. Okay, what is a general message you have for anybody else? Company. Isn't that fitting? It's part of how we met some of my newcomers. Company. It's a little boy and his little kitty cat's laying right next to him, and they're kind of copying each other's poses. Isn't that cute? And I have a calico cat similar to those colors, in those colors. Her name's Carmela. She don't have dark in her. She has more light. She has like a light gray, a caramel color, and an orange. 12. Bam, right to it. Concept, pets, image, a child and a cat sleeping next to each other in similar positions. A concept that is as far as it can be from the idea of primeval and wild nature. We can just see a house cat sleeping close to a child. Humans can develop a connection to nature and life, even in the busiest city, sharing space with an animal living together with it, and sometimes the person and the pet will mirror each other. There is no great lesson, but the fact that the unadulterated company with animals is something capable to touch the most inner chords of our being, happiness and satisfaction that is totally unglamorous, but yet so perfect. In such a tender simplicity, the inner child of each of us may come forward. Divinational meaning. Don't live like an island. Love is simple. Protect the sleep of the innocents. Accept being happy from the simplest things. So there you go. And that's why I like these 2 decks. And believe me, guys, I got a whole box of them. So Okay, there's the cards. All right. Are we ready for dun dun dun? Spell of the day. First book. I have 2. And this is not dated, so you can literally do these over and over again. No joke. Okay, December 25th. Christmas candle spell. For good luck to smile upon you throughout the coming year, light a Yule candle, a large mold candle decked with evergreens on Christmas or Christmas Eve. Recite the following incantation. Candle of Yule with flame bright, you shall burn through this night. Bring us fortune and luck fair all through the coming year. So mote it be. Allow the Yule candle to burn undisturbed until sunrise of December 26th. A safe place to keep a burning Yule candle overnight is either in the bathtub or kitchen sink. When time comes to put out the candle, extinguish the flame with a candle snuffer or by pinching it out between your moistened fingertips. Blowing it out, according to tradition, will cause all of your good luck to be scattered to the wind. So there you go. Spell of the day. Write it down, try it out, enjoy it. Let me know if it works for you. Because that's why I like sharing them, because especially when you get something that works, you know. And yeah, I could charge money for this. And believe me, money is so tight right now. Being able to get monetized would be awesome, but I don't have 1,000 followers, and I just still don't have enough faith and belief that I ever will. You know, I'm just thankful for everyone that I do have and get. Here's The Real Witch's Year by Kate West. This other one says, lead a charmed life all year long. And let's see, the author's name. 5 Pennies spell. Well, this is interesting. Your front door functions as an ideal place for inviting energies of prosperity into your home. To do this spell, place 5 shiny pennies beneath your porch. This will encourage money and love to enter your household. You don't have to be an expert to use this spell and others that will help you deal with all kinds of life situations. Do you need money, love, protection, or a job? Spell a day may have the solutions for you. Let's see if it gives an author. It doesn't say. It literally doesn't give an author's name. Wait, here's some in the back. Okay. That's the jacket. Okay. Here's a 3rd degree. Okay, this has some interesting facts about witches and stuff. And some of the witches from history. Like Dorothy Morrison's in here. Dorothy Morrison is a 3rd degree high priestess of the Georgian tradition and has taught the craft to students in the U.S. and Australia. She is the author of several books and currently lives in Maryland with her husband Mark and their black lab Sadie Mae. That's awesome. I told you I met Dorothy Morrison one year. It was the Witches Ball 2005, as a matter of fact. Okay, and the spell of the day for this one is Christmas. Christmas is not a Wiccan festival. However, it is such an intrinsic part of life today that almost all witches will celebrate it. It's hard to avoid such a dominant celebration. Certainly anyone with children would have to be either very lucky or extremely firm in order to persuade their young not to celebrate it. In our house, we celebrate Yule and then go on to celebrate Christmas too. That's exactly what I do. If you want to exchange, even if it's just one gift on December 21st, let me know and we'll do it. There are a number of interesting customs and beliefs associated with Christmas. It is said that you should eat a mince pie on each of the 12 days of Christmas, preferably given to you by someone else to ensure 12 months of good luck. Moreover, it is bad luck to refuse a mince pie if it is offered to you. The pies should never be cut, as this would bring conflict into the home. The Christmas pudding, when made at home, should be stirred 3 times diasil or clockwise by everyone in the house to ensure their wishes come true. Should a fly be seen in the house between Christmas and the New Year, It is said to forecast a good year. To see a person's shadow without a head on Christmas Day was believed to indicate a death in the coming year. The turkey wishbone should be pulled by two people using only their little fingers. The one who wins the nub will then have their wish come true. At midnight on this day, you should open all the doors in the house to let evil spirits depart. Learn to recognize when to go with the flow rather than fighting the tide. So, this is pretty much what I do, guys. This is my niche. This is my kind of bit piece way of sharing with people what I myself have learned. And, maybe it'll work for you. You never know until you try. And then last but certainly not least, let's find out the goddess of the day, shall we? How much you want to bet it's Mother Mary? I just have that feeling. Christmas, Yule, various locations. Hertha. Themes: rebirth, kinship, health, longevity, tradition. Symbols: dormant trees, snow. About Hertha. In ancient times on this day, people venerated Hertha, the Teutonic goddess of fertility. Domesticated animals, magic and nature, and Germanic tradition, Hertha descended through the smoke of any fire today and brought gifts, much like an early Santa Claus figure, giving her solar associations too. Her connection to nature has survived in the name for our planet, Earth. I did not know that. That's awesome. To do today, Yule takes its designation from a Gaelic word meaning wheel, representing the turning of time's wheel back toward the sun. In early times, this festival included parties for various sun gods and goddesses. It eventually was translated into the celebration of Christ's birth. Any light source or burning incense can symbolize Hertha's presence today. Besides this, look at the world's traditions for magical ways of making your celebration special. For example, Swedes eat a rice pudding with one lucky almond. Whoever gets the nut receives good fortune. Russians toss grain into people's homes for providence as they carol. Armenians make a wish on the Yule log when it's ignited, and sometimes make divinations by the cinder patterns made afterward. Bohemians cut apples in half. If there's a perfect star in the center and it has plump seeds, it portends joy and good health. Finally, kiss someone under the mistletoe for a long, happy relationship. So there you go. Hertha, hail and welcome. We would love to have you with us tonight, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to be up. So let me go get a candle. Because like I said, I'm kind of waiting on a cue from my other half when he's ready to go to bed. So I'm not keeping him up.
Mommy beating on me.
Try to do light myself and see if anybody can hop on. Okay, but now I'm gonna need something else to drink. Okay. Since you guys got to see the one Chris got and the one Noah got, but you didn't get to see mine. Ow! See, I be tripping. Not in a good way. Oh, sometimes I gotta watch it. Okay. These are the ones that my daughter did for me and the colors that I picked. This one she did in purple and blue and pink because I like those colors. And this is my picture with my daughter. Zephyr's. This is me. The other one, Zephyr. So that's my girl, and I got to watch her make that, and she printed this picture off of a little printer that she had that was like this big. It was amazing. Yeah, that's technology for you, right? Ouch. Oh, my foot.
Some personal information, you'd be surprised to see on somebody's Tuesday. But birthday one of the key pieces of information that's on that. They go one step further. They give you the birthday and the day you were shit out of it. Then when you know the day don't it's not I throw that out there. That ain't too personal, you know. All right, Ray. Name some personal information you'd be surprised to see on somebody's tombstone. Bank account information. Bank account information. Name some personal information you'd be surprised to see on somebody's tombstone. How they died. How they died. Some personal information you'd be surprised to see on someone's tombstone.
Yeah, he's in here on the counter. He's resting. Sorry about that. But like I said, guys, this is just, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get you guys more information earlier. I would have. I hope raw side did good. No, better not set that on there. Don't think it's going to be very stable. This is a lid to a round jewelry box. It's got the zodiac signs on it that I did. This is one of my resin pieces. Comes with 2 lids. Okay, let me put these over here so I don't lose them until I can figure out where to put them. I'm going to do a candle, like I said, for Hertha. And this one is a 3-wick fresh balsam. And I wish you guys could smell it. It's awesome. It's divine for sure. Okay, let me put the lid in here. We'll light this puppy up in honor of Hertha. Because I did not know that that's where the name Earth came from. And I'm an Earth sign. So it's like, okie dokie. I hate it when it don't light. You think it's lit and pull away too soon, and it's not. Come on. Ow, ow, ow. If I don't burn myself in the process. There we go. Okay, so I got it right next to the thing here. And we are going to do cookies and milk. Peanut butter, Nutter Butter is my absolute favorite. And I got some hugs. So, yay. That was some of my Christmas today. And you're saying, what's the spoon for? Well, when it comes to cookies, I don't like dipping my fingers in and getting them all wet with the milk and, all that. So I use a spoon. Come on. What? What are we doing?
My juice.
What about your juice?
Not my juice, but your juice, technically.
My juice? It's milk.
No. You told me after the live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I haven't forgotten. No one's even on, as you can see. And I've been on like an hour and 38 minutes and stuff. The stuff's back here. Yeah. Grab a pop and a glass. I did promise my son that after the live that we did earlier, I would let him drink a little bit of my alien vodka because it's Christmas.
This is a little bit of vodka. Not even. It's like half a shot, if that.
Well, I'm explaining it to her.
I gotta go grab a glass.
A cup or something.
There's more pop than there is.
Mm-hmm. I have nowhere to set my cookies. There we go. And that other handsome fellow you hear is my other son, Ted. That's Noah's adopted brother.
Oh, she on live?
Yes, I am. It's okay. You guys are welcome. You know that. Just shut the door so we can hear better in here.
I call his mom too. I mean,
Yeah. And nobody's on.
I was explaining it to Jay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nobody's on right now, but I had some people join tonight, which was nice.
Sorry I wasn't there to mod. I was on the phone with them.
Oh, that's okay, honey. Like I said, nobody's been on, and I've been on here. You can see yourself. I've been on here almost 2 hours.
Another thing you can do, Jay, look, you can actually get on YouTube and join.
Just a smidge. Yes, she absolutely can. I mean, I would have to learn.
You like watching things.
It's Christmas. A little more than that.
If you want to.
Yeah, but you got to remember, son, this stuff is a lot stronger than you're used to.
I know.
And I don't want
Okay.
you getting too goofy loopy on me.
Okay.
And every bit of this that we drink now is just, I don't know when I might never be able to get this again.
What?
She gets, and I'm going to explain to your mom real quick. She gets nervous like I do, so.
You might want to stir it with something, sweetie.
That's not bad, though.
No, it's not, because it's this to me is basically the equivalent of somebody letting their child drink a glass of champagne at a wedding. That's the way I view this. Oh, I see how it is. They're not even going to stay back here for my live. That's real nice of them. He just came back to get his alcohol and then he left. Jayla, honey, if you do decide to join me, welcome aboard. But you're going to have to bear with me, hon. It's something we'll have to work around because, one, I don't want your mom getting mad at me, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble for something that you do that you should have asked her if it was okay. You'll have to bear with me because the only way you might be able to see a live is when I'm doing one and Noah is here with me and Ted as well. Because you're a kid, because you're underaged, I would have to design my videos, my live streams around a child. And I can't promise that I can do that because I know like some bare essentials of how to do lives, but there's a lot that I don't know. And I haven't yet been able to commit, sadly, to researching it more so that I could learn and be better at computer related stuff myself. But I'm just saying, I don't know how you're going to be able to see my lives because of a lot of what I talk about on them, your mom's not going to be okay with because a lot of it is Wicca. A lot of it is, witchcraft related. And like I said, I don't want to get in trouble because you decide to do it and join and she finds out and then I get in trouble for it. And there's a feature when you're setting up each live that if you click on it, it says, yes, it's made for kids or no, it's not made for kids. I always do not made for kids. Because one time I tried to do that and make it for kids. And I messed it up so badly that my live stream wouldn't run right. Now, because I didn't set it up proper to where it would be, by YouTube standards, suitable for young children, and especially youngins like yourself, honey, because I know you're only 15. So just bear with us. We will try to include you in on them, but when you start hearing about a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, it might make you uncomfortable. Because I am Wiccan. I'm a witch. But I'm a good witch. I don't do any of the bad stuff. I don't do any of the stuff to hurt people. I've been a witch for 33 years, and I was born that way. I'm a natural witch. It's nothing to be afraid of. And if you want to really learn what it's all about, get the book Teen Witch. But here's the thing. Sorry, I'm trying to chew, so I'm not talking and have food in my mouth. And not lose my train of thought. If you really want to learn, no matter what your religious beliefs and background, you can still read about it just to gain a better understanding of it so that you can see for yourself it's nothing to be afraid of. Now, a misconception that a lot of parents have and believe is that if you start reading books on Wicca and witchcraft, then you're just going to go out and do it. No. That simply explains it to those that, feel like that's the right path for them. But you're not doing anything wrong. You're not violating any religious rights. Just learning about it, reading about it. As long as you're not actively practicing it, I don't see any harm in it in being taught if you want to know. Because that's what I'm trying to do with my son Noah, is do it in a way that I can still teach him about it and how it works. But right now, he's not ready to start actively practicing because he's an inexperienced witch. And it's my job, not only as his mom, but as an experienced witch, to guide him proper. Because if I teach him spells and stuff like that before he's ready up here and in here and stable emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all that, he could be extremely dangerous if he became Wiccan before he was ready, or he became not so much Wiccan as, because you can practice magic and not be a witch and not be Wiccan. You can still do spells and they will still work, but it enhances the possibility of them working if you choose to follow the path of Wicca fully. But reading about it, you're not doing anything wrong, okay? I'm not telling you to sign up because I do it and someone does it and it sounds cool and fun. It comes with a great deal of responsibility, because if you teach someone a spell before they're ready and they do it and it blows up in your faces, you're going to get the backlash from that. And me being the caster, I would get the worst end of it. And because I am the one that gave him that knowledge and gave him that wisdom, that's what makes it dangerous. And so you have to be in the right place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to be able to decide for yourself, because it should always be of your own free will and choice, not because somebody else is doing it, or, don't do it for the wrong reasons. Do it only if you research it proper. And you come on here, you'll see me do circles, cast circles and stuff. Basically, all you're doing when you cast a circle is you're putting protective energy around you and everybody in that circle. Well, when I cast my circles, when I'm doing something inside the apartment where I'm sure that none of us are going to go out during the night or anything, that we're done for the night, we're locking up the door, we're not going anywhere, then and only then would I do something like dang it, lost my train of thought. Cast an inner circle. Thank you. Cast a circle inside. And when I cast it, I usually do it in the living room because that's my power center. That's where I do the majority of my magic and spells and all that. I have done a few in here. I did a real nice dragon one day because I had a handful of dragon statues and I have a dragon book. I have a dragon deck. So I used them all together and I called in a seasonal dragon. Like right now, the seasonal dragon is Ice Dragon because it's for the season of Yule. Now I do have a dragon book that tells about that I should bring in here and maybe read a little bit just to give you an idea. Because see, that's part of how I'm teaching. It's like, see, nothing bad happened, right? You're just pursuing knowledge. You're in wisdom. That's how we learn and grow. That ultimately is how you pick the right spiritual path for yourself, the right religious path, because it doesn't mean that somewhere down the line, if you decide Christianity isn't for you and you really want to fully embrace Wicca, do it. Hey, Ted. Hey, buddy. Mwah. What's up? Sorry, things have been so busy, crazy today, son. I didn't mean to make you feel I forgot about you because I would never do that. It's just been really busy, crazy. And you're my first person that came on. Hello. But, watch me do spells. Watch me do casting, circle casting. But I know the stuff by heart. I don't even have to read it in the book anymore. I just recite it like nothing. And I always do multiple, meaning there's at least two distinct, hey, Kalika, distinct circles I cast inside the house. And I imagine them expanding throughout the entire apartment so that we can move about freely within its boundaries without breaking them. However, if somebody walks out that door for some reason, they break the circle, then I have to recast it all over again. See? So when I know that we're in for the night, we're not going to ever open that door for any other reason then and only then. If I'm going to cast a circle, I would do it when I can guarantee that nobody's going to be coming in and out that door because I don't want to have to recast it again. Okay? But I don't really know a lot as far as YouTubing yet. I've been doing it long enough. I know some basics, but there's a lot more. Like I want to learn to edit more. I want to go and use my creator studio and my, dashboard, they call it, where each live that you do, you can go back and review it. And then you can like splice it together stuff, or you can cut stuff out where you feel like, okay, I said this a million times. I need to quit. Enough's enough. Excuse me. So right now, though, Mama Jan is just simply having her little cookies and milk moment here because this was some of what I got for Christmas today with some Nutter Butters. It's just these are round instead of the classic peanut shape. Hey, Kalika. And, of course, my Kalika's got to be down here at my feet wanting my attention and also wanting on my lap, which I can't let her on my lap in this chair because as soon as I tried to do that, she'd scratch the fadoogie out of me because she wants on my lap and I'm not sitting out there in the front room where she can get on my lap the most easily. And this chair moves. So I know that as soon as she jumps up here and this chair moves, I'm getting shredded. I'm getting scratched. And I don't want to go through that. I do the spoon so that I can still dunk the cookie without getting my fingers in the milk. Kalika, please be careful. Don't knock that over. Like I said, Kalika's in here wanting my attention. So I'm trying to pet her. Because, Mom, you've been so busy today. You're ignoring me. Yeah.
You might want to start winding it down because I need to go to bed.
Okay.
I've been up since 4:30.
All right.
And cleaning and,
all right, guys. Well, sorry, but too little, too late, I guess. Dad wants to go to bed, Ted, so I'm going to have to end this live because I don't know that I would be able to continue doing it out in the front room or not, because I don't know what Noah's still doing, or if he starts doing something else, it's going to mess up the live and it's just going to get me irritated. And I don't want to ruin anybody's Christmas because so far we've had a pretty good one. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Blessed be. Love you guys. Thanks for coming, hanging, chilling. Blessed be. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. All that happy stuff. And I will see you next live. Peace. Yeah, maybe here in a minute. Just give me a chance to shut this all down first, okay?